2016 marked my first time attending OMGcon. I can honestly say that even though this con had a bit of a slow start, it ended up being a really good time. OMGcon is a 3-day con held in Owensboro, Kentucky in the Owensboro Convention Center. OMGcon is a small con. You can really feel this on Friday, as even though there were people there, it really didn't feel like a lot. Luckily, Saturday really stepped up and the convention center became filled with people. If you're the type of person that likes smaller cons where you can make it to almost everything, then OMGcon is the perfect con for you, because they really are one of the better small cons I've ever been to. I really like the location for OMGcon. It isn't all that big, but that's fine honestly. My only worry with it is growth. Like I said, the con center is beautiful, but not very big. I think they'll be fine for the next few years, but as the con continues to grow, it may end up outgrowing this location. But only time will tell. A huge plus for this con is that parking is free at the convention center and all of its host hotels. So when you're planning for this con next year, you don't need to worry about bringing money to park. Registration went pretty well at OMGcon. It wasn't overly fast or anything, but it was fast enough for the amount of people they needed to get through. I only rarely saw lines of any kind at this con. It was pretty easy to just walk up and into anything. There was a lot of staff at OMGcon, and they were all pretty chill. I really liked this, but it also felt like some of them may have been a bit too chill. Multiple times we walked into the game room or panel rooms and the person at the door just ignored checking our badges to text or talk. This only upset us because it felt like you could almost go there with no badge and still get into a lot of things for free. We wanted it to feel like we really needed to pay our way in. I really liked that OMGcon had their schedule for the weekend printed out all over the convention center, so you could stop and see when and where things were happening at any time without needing to carry around a guidebook. OMGcon had a decent lineup of guests considering their size. It wasn't anything that would blow you away, but they had a little bit of everything, like voice actors, YouTubers, and industry guests. They also had a lot of events going on. I have been to cons this size where it felt as though there was nothing to do. At OMGcon, I never felt like I had nothing to do. If I got too bored at one thing, it was very easy to find something else to fill my time with. This was really one of the best parts of the con. Whether you wanted to go to a panel, get autographs, go to the game room, the dealer's room, tabletop gaming, or check out the maid cafe, there was a lot to keep you busy. OMGcon also had a fantastic game room. I have visited much bigger cons with much smaller game rooms. I was honestly shocked when I first saw it. They have a bit of everything, and it was never that hard to find something free to sit down and play. Fantastic job on the game room. The dealer's room for OMGcon was about what I expected. For the size of the con, it was great, but don't expect anything over the top big like Anime Central's dealer's room because it just isn't that type of con. I honestly felt it was the right size for the con, and I couldn't ask for much more. Finally, I need to mention the Rave, or electronic dance party they held on Saturday night. It was fantastic. I was really surprised to see how many people attended considering the size of the convention. Everyone in there was very into it from start to finish. This is because of the awesome job put on by the DJs. I'd seen Greg Ayres play many times, so I knew what to expect, but this was my first time meeting Andrew Hilton, the other DJ that played. He not only played a fantastic set, he was also one of the best DJs I've ever seen when it comes to controlling the crowd. Great job. The size of this convention is small. The location gets an 8 out of 10. I think this location holds the con very well. I really do like it a lot. I'm just worried about the ability to grow into a much bigger con in this location. But like I said, only time will tell. Organization gets a 9 out of 10. This is one place I felt OMGcon really shined. Nothing ever felt like it was thrown together last minute. It seemed like thought and passion was put into every little detail of planning this convention, and it really came through in a very great way. The dealer's room gets a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's a great dealer's room. It isn't going to blow anyone away, but it won't disappoint you either. The game room gets a 10 out of 10. No doubt one of the best things about this con. If you've been to a lot of other small cons, you'll be blown away by the game room that OMGcon has. For the size of the con, I really think this game room is perfect. The guests get a 7 out of 10. They had a good guest list for their size, but I would really love to see them get even more guests in the future, as it could really help pull more people out to this con. Panels get a 9 out of 10. There was no lack of things to do at OMGcon. Most every panel I went to started right on time or pretty close to it. There always seemed to be multiple things to do at any given time, and I could see it getting hard to pick just one. Staff gets an 8 out of 10. The staff was awesome. They seemed to be very helpful and full of energy. My only complaint really was that some of them didn't check badges when we went into some areas of the con. Makes you wonder why you even bought a badge if a lot of times you don't even need to use it. The Rave gets a 10 out of 10, no doubt. I expected a much smaller and more simple dance party from this con, but what I got was proof that OMGcon really knows how to put on a party. The Rave had crazy high energy from the very start, and it never faded. Huge thanks to the DJs that helped to make Saturday night one to remember. I honestly feel like OMGcon is kind of a hidden gem. They do a lot right and not a lot wrong. The biggest issue with this con is just that the people aren't there. If more people knew about and attended this con, I could see it blowing up into a huge must-go-to event. So if you live within even 3 hours of this con, please make the trip out next year. Then tell your friends about it. Let's help this little gem of a con get the recognition it deserves. At the end of the day, I give OMGcon 2016 a 7 out of 10. It was definitely a great con, and I look forward to returning in the future. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I put some annotations to other videos I think you might like, as well as one to my online merch store where you can buy all kinds of convention reviews and merch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.